Hello, 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 hello. Perfect. Right. So now I guess the voice would be audible. Perfect. Right. So let us now get started, guys. So the very first thing is, those students who do not know me already, this is Chandan Ganotra. I'm a graduate from IIT Hyderabad in the year 2016, and I have about 4 years of experience in teaching, and I have mentored more than 20,000 plus students and 1,000 plus teachers over the last 4 years. Right, guys? And my forte is experimental teaching style that you will get to know in this particular today's class. Right, perfect. So let us now get started, my dear friends. So the very first thing is, if you have still not downloaded Unacademy's learning application, please do that as soon as possible, because in this application you will be getting basically so much free content, right? So the special classes are absolutely free once you sign up, so you can use my code, that is CG Live, and start watching my special classes and for other educators too, right? So guys, first of all, even in this chapter, we should be knowing that what is the reduced syllabus, right? So basically, even in this particular chapter, there's a lot of reduced syllabus, the syllabus that has been reduced. So one of the thing is, in this particular chapter, all the human eye portion has been chopped off, right? So myopia, hypermetropia, presbyopia, all these things are not coming for the board examinations of 2021. So that we should not be discussing. And as far as some important questions are considered, so these are the important questions. The very first thing is, what is dispersion and prism? So guys, this is a very important question that will be coming related to this chapter, that what is dispersion, what is it? The phenomenon of reflection we have studied, the phenomenon of refraction we have studied, but what is this phenomenon of dispersion, right? And what it has to do with prism, how the rainbow forms, what is this, like a white color and the rainbow is forming, what is that particular scene, why sky is blue, that also we'll be discussing, why the sun is red at sunrise and sunset, that also we'll be studying, the 2-minute delay and delayed early sunrise and delayed sunset we'll be studying, and why the stars twinkle, why red lights in the ambulance, all these few topics we will be discussing in today's class. And guys, it is very important, because just about these 5-6 questions will be asked in the board examination. I don't think more than these questions there are any probable question that will be asking be asked in this particular chapter, right? So the very first thing, let us now try that. So guys, there is a particular experiment that I did, just a minute. So there's this particular experiment that I did some time back. So in that, I basically took a mirror, right, and I took some water, right, and I'm pouring the water in the bowl that contains the mirror, right. So somehow when I'm keeping this in the sunlight, I'm able to see some different colors, a series of colors actually. So I'm able to see the sunlight was actually a white colored light, at least a little yellowish you can say, but it's a white colored light. And that white colored light is now splitting to a series of different colors that you can see on screen. It is splitting to some different colors like that, right? So here you can see it is splitting to red, yellow, it is splitting to green and violet and blue and these sorts of colors. So guys, this phenomenon of splitting of white light into a series of 7 colors is what is called dispersion. So what I am saying in this particular one is dispersion is a phenomenon where the white light splits into a VIBGYOR, into a series of 7 colors. So this series of 7 colors, that is what is called VIBGYOR: violet, indigo, blue, green, orange, this one, VIBGYOR. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So these are the 7 colors that the white light actually consists of, right? So if you incident the white light on this thing, and this triangular thing that you are able to see, that is what is called a prism, right? So to know a little bit more about the prism is a 3-dimensional shape where the 2 figures are triangular and the 3 sides are rectangular. So that is what is prism. So generally when I write this as a prism, so it's just a 2-dimensional view of prism. Actually it is like basically from inside as well, right? So the shape of the prism you have got already. So there are certain things. So when a light is incident on the prism, that is what is called the incident ray, right? The ray that is emerging out, that is what is called the emergent ray, right? And this one, EF, you can say the refracted ray. Similarly, this angle is called the angle of incidence, this angle is called the angle of emergence, right? And the angle of refraction, you can say the R, this one is the angle of this one, right? And this angle, guys, is called angle of deviation, how much light has deviated, and A is the angle of prism, right? So suppose if a light is getting onto a prism like this and it is dispersing into a series of 7 colors. So suppose if the prism wasn't kept, then the light would have gone something like this, right? So this is the angle of deviation represented by D, आप इसको delta भी लिख सकते हैं. So this is what is called the angle of deviation. This is how much the light has deviated. So as you can see on screen, the red light is deviating the least while the blue light is deviating the more, right? You can actually say, rather than blue, the violet light is deviating the most and the red light is deviating the least. So this is an important concept, guys, in this particular thing that you should be aware of, right? But why do we say that red light scatters the least? Why do we say that red light is scattering the least? Just give me 1 minute. Just perfect. Shubhe, basically, yeah, only the language is different, that's it, right? So perfect, yeah. So in this particular one, so when we say the red light is scattering the least, what do I mean by that is, so according to the basically some scattering curves, I can say that more the wavelength of the light, lesser is the scattering, right? So from this we can say that, and this is the Rayleigh scattering curve that you'll be studying in the class 12th. So we can simply say that red light is having the most largest wavelength, while the blue light is having the shortest wavelength. Rather, the violet light is having the least wavelength. So I can write, the more the wavelength, the lesser is the scattering. The lesser is even the deviation, right? So suppose if a light should go like this, so red is deviating the least and violet is deviating the most. That you should be knowing, right? So this is what is called the angle of deviation. The angle between the incident ray and the emergent ray is what is called the angle of deviation, right? So let us now get started even to another one, right? So this is angle of deviation, incident and emergence, and you can learn another important thing as well. This is called the angle of prism, right? You can say this is angle of prism. So this is an important formula. What is the minimum deviation? The angle, the deviation is given by I plus E minus A. Guys, this formula is not in your CBSE board's syllabus, but you can still write the formula down in your notes because it's an important formula for the NTSE aspirants. So all those students who will be writing the National Talent Search Examination, this formula, the questions from this formula are generally asked in that, right? Yeah, it will be having all the theory and all the things will be there, right? Perfect. आगे बढ़ते हैं. So the best books, like, it depends from person to person, but for CBSE it would be Lakshmi Singh. For foundation it would be either Pearson's or H.C. Verma that you can take, right? So let us now understand an experiment that Newton did. So what Newton did is he made incident, like the white light was incident on this one, right? It split it into 7 colors, and then finally the 7 colors were recombining to form another white colored light. Right, guys? So this is called the double prism experiment, the dual prism experiment. So in this, basically the first prism is kept like this and the second prism is kept like the mirror image, like the ulta of that, right? So that is it. So in this particular one, we get to know that a white light is consist of 7 colors, right? And also there's an important concept that is there in this one, that why the deviation is not observed, why the dispersion is not observed in the case of a glass slab. So we can simply say a glass slab is made up of 2 prisms. They are placed one over the another like this. So actually in the prism, the white light, actually in the glass slab, white light is actually splitting to 7 colors, but sadly all the 7 colors are recombining to form a single colored light, and that is what actually happens, right? Perfect. Yes, it will have all the things in detail as well, yeah. So now let us see one natural phenomenon associated with this physical concept, with the concept of physics, that is called dispersion. So one of the natural phenomenon is the rainbow formation. For that, what I am doing is I'm using a spray can that you can easily get in a saloon, right? So I'm using that spray can, the hairspray can, and I'm basically creating a mist, and on a bright sunny day I'm able to get a rainbow. So guys, as you can see in this particular video, at a basic proportion. Yes, yeah. So are you able to see the rainbow, my dear friends? So I'm able to see a circular sort of a thing in which this one is a red color and below is the blue color. Are you able to see that? So the red and the blue colors you are able to see, and also it's a little circular in shape, right? So this is how the rainbow forms. Another very important concept when it comes to the board examinations. Extremely important concept, my dear friends. So what actually is happening is white light is incident on the water drop, right? It is the very first thing that is happening is dispersion, right? Dispersion. So white light is actually dispersing to the 7 colors. And after that, the internal reflection is happening. That I'll be explaining a little later. What is internal reflection? So internal reflection is happening over here, and finally the light is refracting away, right? So this is basically what is how the rainbow is forming, right? And guys, the rainbow actually will be circular in shape. The rainbow will be circular in shape, and the reason is basically, and by the way, that internal reflection wala funda, let me explain again. So suppose if you incident a light in this, so it is actually getting refracted, right? But if you increase the angle to a certain level, you can see the light is internally reflecting. So this internal reflection, that IR I was referring. But there is a certain case where there is no light that is refracting away. The light is only internally reflecting. This case, my dear students, is what is called TIR, bole to total internal reflection, right? So this is what is called TIR, that is total internal reflection. That only happens when a light is traveling from a denser medium to a rarer medium. Again guys, this is not very important when compared to the board examination, this TIR concept, but still if you are preparing for the NTSC and if you are the student of this one, like the IIT foundation, then it might be very important for you, right? So let us now understand TIR. So TIR is when a light is incident on a surface, it will refract, right? But there is a certain angle where the refracted angle will be 90 degree, right guys? So the refracted angle will be 90 degree. That is the critical case. इस वक्त जो आपका angle of incidence होता है, that is what we say critical angle, that is IC, right? And then guys, after that, if you still increase the angle of incidence, the incident and the reflected ray will be basically in some way that it will be totally internally reflected. So that is the case where you can use the formula I is equal to R. Let's move even further, right? Right. So this is what is called the critical angle concept in the formation of, but by the way, in the rainbow, not every time the TIR wala concept appears. In rainbow, internal reflection is there, right? Not the total internal reflection, rather the internal reflection, right? So basically when you are standing, when the sun is besides you, behind you basically, and you are standing there, so you'll be able to see a circular rainbow. So the reason you are able to see a circular rainbow is because actually matlab you are able to see a hemispherical, like, or a semicircular rainbow. But that's not true if you see it from a far building, right? So you are able to see the complete circular thing in the rainbow. So actually the rainbow is circular, but since, and it has to be there, right? Because the light rays are coming in the form of a cone, something like this. So the rainbow is formed circular, but since we are at one of the horizons, so we see hemispherical or a semicircular thing, right? So now guys, what if I tell you the morning sun that we see, that's not true. Matlab, that is an illusion. You will be like, sir, that's not even possible, right? How can the morning sun be an illusion, right? So my parents say, wake up and see the morning sun. It's it's good and all that. But what if I say that that morning sun is actually will come after 2 minutes, right? So the first sun that you see, and even the sunset. What if I tell you that sun has already set? There is no point in this. Sun has already set. How will you react to this, right? Tell to refer. Lakshmi Singh is good, yeah. Lakshmi Singh is good, and at the same time, I would say that previous year's question, nothing can beat them. So if you are a CBSE aspirant, if you want to basically do the best in the coming board examination, then this thing, right? So yeah, perfect, yeah. So we won't believe, right? So let us now understand this thing. So we'll be like, it's a betrayal, right? Bahubali ne kyun mara, something like that. But that's not a betrayal. So first let us understand with the help of a very simple magic experiment. So I take a coin, and right now the coin is visible to me. Is that correct? Yes, right? So the coin is visible to you. It's as simple as, right? So if I'm putting some water into the system, the coin is completely disappearing. So actually the coin is still there, but it has some game of refraction. So similarly here also there's a game of refraction that is happening. So but the refraction here that is happening is because of atmosphere, and that is why, right? Yeah, so Kushal, the lectures from the scratch will be coming next month, right? Abhi I'm not abhi these are quick revision sessions for the students who are already in the 10th class. For the students who have come from the 9th to 10th class, the sessions will be starting the next month, like from the scratch, right? So guys, since earth ke upar there is atmosphere, right, and outside earth there is space, and we can assume that it's vacuum. So I can say this is rarer medium and this is denser medium. So whenever a sunlight is coming from a rarer to denser medium, it will bend towards the normal, right? So whenever the ray is bending towards the normal and the ray is coming something like this, so I'll assume that the sun is right here, but actually the sun is way beyond horizon, right? So that is this particular thing, right? So this is what is called the early sunrise, right? And similarly, if we see the other side of the story, it will be the delayed sunset. So sun has already been set, but still I am able to see the sun because of the delayed sunset. So that is what actually is the answer to this one, right? So the same funda is applicable with stars as well, and this is a little wrong. That would be the ray diagram, right? So suppose if a light is coming from the star, it will start bending towards the normal, and you will be able to see an apparent position of the star. And guys, that is not the real position of the star. Real position is a little downwards. So this again is happening because of something called atmospheric refraction, right guys? So the same thing is happening because of atmospheric refraction, right? So now there is a very important question that they may ask in the board examination, and the question is, why do stars twinkle? So basically guys, the reason the stars twinkle is when the light is coming from the basically atmosphere to the earth, right? I'm saying that it is bending towards the normal, that's correct, but the refractive index is changing continuously. Why? Because the temperature is changing. So because of temperature, guys, in this channel the thing is, we'll be teaching in English, right? In Unacademy 9th and 10th channel, I am teaching the same thing but in English or the Hindi format, right? So you can refer to Unacademy 9th and 10th channel as well if you want to learn in Hindi. So the channel is oriented that it will have English content, right? So this change is basically will be referred to as twinkling. So basically you will see the stars sometimes bright, sometimes less bright. So this is what is called the twinkling of a star, right? So now there is another thing that you might be wondering. So why the ambulances are basically red in color, right? Why the sun, when it sets, it becomes red out of sudden, right? But the sun is not red in the noon, right? It is red when it is sunset, when it is getting sunset. So there has to be a specific color for sun, right? We cannot just say that acha, sun is white color as well and sun is red color as well, right? And also all the warning signals most probably are red in color. The danger signal and everything are red in color. So abhi we discussed before that red color has the long wavelength. Since it has the long wavelength, it will scatter the least, right? It will deviate the least. That's what we discussed. It also scatters the least according to Rayleigh scattering. So let us first understand what scattering is. So guys, if you see this particular figure, you are not able to see the path of light in the second container, right? As soon as if I'm adding some colloidal particles to it, maybe Dettol or a little milk, you are able to see the path of light. But in the first container, in the first glass, you are not able to see the path of light. So actually guys, what is happening is, whenever there is something that strikes in the path of light, light basically reflects, or light bounces back in random direction. This phenomenon of bouncing back of light in random direction is what is called scattering, right? So light is basically bending from here to there in random direction, and it only happens when the light comes in contact with some colloidal particles. And that particle could be oxygen, nitrogen, dust particles, anything, right? Right now I am dissolving some Dettol to it, so that again will be making this particular thing, right? So guys, what actually happens is, when the sunset is way above, like just overhead, right, at 12 in the noon, right? So if you trace the ray diagram, if you trace the path of the sunlight, you will be able to see only a fraction of path of sunlight is actually coming from the atmosphere. But when the sun is at the horizon, even in the sunrise or the sunset, there's a lot longer range of sunlight that is actually getting to has to transfer through the atmosphere. So guys, atmosphere has many things. So it has oxygen, nitrogen, so it will scatter as well, right? So basically, as I said, red color has long wavelength and it will scatter the least, right? So basically when the light when the sun is exactly above the above my top, right, at 12 in the noon, so least number of scattering is happening because light is not traveling for much longer distances, so a very less least scattering is happening in the basically this one, right? So even so that does not matter. So sun mostly appears yellowish to you or whitish to you, so that is how sun appears in the noon, something like this, because not much scattering is happening, so sun appears to be in the original color. But what actually happens is at the time of noon, let me tell you, at the time of noon, so most of the blue color or the other colors of light is scattered away, right? The only color that deviates that scatters the least will be coming onto your eyes, and that is the red color. So that is why sun appears, right? That is why the sun appears red in the evening and in the sunrise, because it has to travel a longer distance, and most of the other colors of light, because they scatter the most, right, they have already scattered, right? Because red light has the longest wavelength, so it scatters the least, right? Shriyansh, I am taking in 9th as well, आज 9th and 10th वाले channel पर भी ले रहा हूँ session, but we have to take in this as well, right? हाँ, so basically red color जिसका maximum wavelength है, the wavelength is maximum for the red color, right? So it scatters the least and hence it is coming onto your eyes, right? And there is another thing why sky appears blue. So in that you simply have to write, since the wavelength of blue is very less, so the scattering is more. Simple. So that is the answer why sky is blue, right? And there are some students who might be questioning that why, sir, like sky is not violet, right? Sky has to be violet, right? Why is it blue? One of the reason is the sun actually consists a major chunk of blue colored light than compared to the violet colored light. So that is reason number one. The second is your eyes are more sensitive, much more sensitive to the blue color as compared to the other colors. So that is why this one, the sky appears bluish to you, right? So guys, this was it. We tried to complete, and that too it was a very simple chapter, right? And this particular small video, the 20-minute video, might be relevant for those who are appearing for this time's board examination, and it will be helping you because whatever that will be asked in the board examination is discussed in this class, right guys? So now let me tell you one of the important feature of Unacademy, that is Ask a Doubt. So if you still haven't checked out this particular feature by Unacademy, so please go download the Unacademy learning application and check this feature. So to avail this feature, right, what you have to do is basically simple download the application. You'll see an icon of question mark, that is Ask a Doubt. Click on that. So basically it will be asking you to simply take a picture of your doubt. You take the picture of your doubt, click it, submit it, make sure that you are cropping the exact question whatever you want to ask. Select your subject, that whatever physics, chemistry or bio it is relating to chemistry. So just simply select that one and you will be able to receive the solutions. So this is first of its kind thing. So please make sure you are utilizing this thing, and it will be really helpful for the students who literally do a lot of questions but they don't get enough answers, they don't get solutions. Do this one, right? So, and the another one is, guys, there are certain things about the Ask a Doubt. The very first thing is, do not just send random multiple images. That won't be helping you out, because the problem that may come is like the instructor or the teacher who is there, he might get confused which one you want to ask. And the second one is, do not post the handwritten notes or blurred images or the incomplete questions in that particular one, right? So that won't be helping at all, right? And the Unacademy comeback will be on March 21st. Make sure you have enrolled in this. To enroll for this, you can use my code, that is CG Live. Up CG Live code you can use, and if you use this code, you will be enrolling for free. And this is a very important test that you should be giving, right? And guys, let me now tell you about Unacademy subscription, right? So the very first thing is, you learn live from the comfort of your home. Like, that is the best. Earlier what used to happen is, you have to go to a coaching center in some city, you have to leave your home, and then the multiple problems will be there about the hostel and all that. Now you are getting quality education in the comfort of your home. Unlimited access to all the courses. You can see a video multiple times, thrice, 400 times, it's up to you. Top educators of India are currently in the same platform. Regular doubt clearing and answer. So every fourth class in the plus is a doubt clearance class. so that you should be utilizing. So, and basically the coverage of all the syllabus is there. Mentorship and guidance is also given to you. After the class, you can simply take the PDF of that particular class. Practice tests are there, live test series, and the batch courses. So all these things and much more than that are really helpful if you want to take the subscription. And guys, if you are going to take a subscription, you can use my code, that is CG Live. If you use this code, you can get a 10% discount in your subscription, right? So that is it, guys. And if you want to have even a better understanding of the concepts, go with the Iconic subscription. So guys, in the Iconic subscription, you will be assigned a personal mentor. So that itself is a very big thing, considering we need some mentor in our life to teach us, to basically help us in our studies, because maybe we are demotivated, maybe we are not that like enthusiastic, but this will be helping you a lot, right? And guys, basically Iconic mein again you can use my code, that is CG Live, and that's it. Okay guys, this was the class. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much. Bye bye.